Why did Japan invade Southeast Asia during World War II? It is rubber. What plant can compare to my status as oil? It is rubber. What plants contribute to such a high urbanization rate? It also reduced the population by a huge amount. Still rubber. 1493 to 1496. Columbus fleet embarked on its second voyage. They arrived in what is now Haiti, seeing the local youth and children playing a black pinball. For Columbus, this ball has excellent elasticity. It's really a bit unbelievable. What's outrageous is the indigenous people of the Americas in the 16th century BC. They've already started playing this kind of pinball. This does not mean that his technology is particularly advanced. Instead, there is a special plant in the area: rubber tree. A rubber tree is a large rubber tree plant. Oh, I've never heard of it being okay if it's a few large. Have you seen this plant before? It's called chichi. After it breaks, a white liquid will flow out. We call it cat's eyes. How many are there? In fact, many plants exude a white liquid. This is especially true for the rubber tree Hevea brasiliensis. In his body, especially in the phloem, there are many lacrimal duct cells. These cells, it produces a white cytoplasm, called latex. The main component of latex is water. It accounts for 52 to 75. Secondly, there are various tin-like substances. That is, rubber tin, polyethylene 527. 98 of the part is 4141527. Less than 1 is transtetrameric 1527. C contains 12 proteins, lipids, etc. If the body of rubber is damaged, they then secreted this latex onto the wound, gradually solidify into a solid, called latex, like applying a bandage. It serves to protect the wound. The question is, what use is this thing to a person? There is indeed a ball for use. The indigenous people of Jumeirah would collect latex, mix these glues like you would dough. Milk masses form spheres for ball games. This competition is not just about sports. It is also a religious ritual. It is said that the victor will have their head chopped off, dedicated to the divine weapon. Rather than winning this kind of championship, they'll stick to being a close-up observer of the nuclear explosion. One thing I admire about them is, this ball is solid. Each one weighs 24 kilograms, similar to shot put. As for the operation method, it's neither basketball nor football. No hands or feet. Instead, it relies on the waist, abdomen and buttocks. Use your thighs and other parts to exert force, passing each other to attack. These balls not only have excellent elasticity, moreover, the surface is smooth and does not stick. If it's a ball formed from regular latex, it had already been lumped together, according to the findings of researchers, around the banana trees. Often, a morning glory or a moonflower lives in this environment. Collect branches and leaves from the moonflower vines. Pinch into the horn. It can separate the water phase and the rubber phase of pyrolytic emulsion. Various small molecules will dissolve in water. Macromolecules aggregate together. If latex and the vines of the king of leaves. If the ratio of branches to leaves is 11. The rubber products made from this material have excellent elasticity, high strength, suitable for making rubber balls. If the ratio of latex to moonflower vine is 31, it has strong wear resistance, suitable for making shoe soles or for binding axes. 1735. French scientist Jean-Baptiste Candeman arrives in South America. Originally, it was for verification. Newton proposed, is the Earth actually an ellipse? But in 1736, he also went to France in Ovaldo. I mailed a latex sample, and in the books he wrote, South American Inland Travel Management, detailed information on the origin of banana trees. Collect latex. Record the process of making latex. But this is just a record. Its academic value is not high. His good friend Fresno, specializing in rubber, Because latex itself is waterproof. Locals will coat the cloth with latex. Come up and make raincoats. He thought. Is there a solvent that can dissolve latex? How to apply the latex more evenly to the fabric? He discovered turpentine in 1763. It can dissolve natural rubber. In 1768, the Frenchman Markel discovered ethylene can dissolve natural rubber and invented the use of flexible hoses. 1770, British chemist Priestler made a discovery. Rubber can wipe away the marks from the purple camphor tree. So he was named Rober. The translation is the consciousness of wiping away tools. Although from the late 18th century, by the early 19th century, the development of rubber is very rapid. However, due to the rainy weather in Europe, these scientists, they often think of using bananas for waterproofing, waterproof carport renovation, leaking roofs, etc. The track is very narrow. The most technical problem with natural rubber. The problem remains unresolved. Softens when heated. It cracks when exposed to cold. Moreover, it's sticky and difficult to use. The oxidation rate is also very fast. This leads to problems during storage and processing. It emits a strong, foul odor. It's neither useful nor smelly. Its popularity naturally cannot be high. The company that produced rubber at that time, let's not say they made a fortune. At least it's like their underwear has been exposed. Located in New York City, Rock's Glass Rubber Company, on the verge of bankruptcy. On this day, a world-changing lamp has arrived. A star in the history of Miko. Charles Goodyear. Charles Goodyear. Most people probably haven't heard of this name. But when it comes to Goodyear, everyone should be quite familiar with it. Goodyear tires, which we hear about all the time. Goodyear welted shoes. Actually, it was all named in his honor. Charles Goodyear? He is a descendant of Stephen Goodyear. My family was relatively well off when I was young. He's with his father. Established the first production and sales company in the United States. Pearl pressing down on the cow. Later, enterprises. Later, he started his own business selling hardware. When expanding overseas business, encountering an economic recession led to debt. So he thought about getting a patent to make money, although he himself knew nothing about chemistry. But after reading a large number of newspapers, decided to improve rubber. His first experience with rubber made him think it was sticky. Then ill-used talcum powder to dry the rubber. Rubber carbon black and talc. It all dissolved in the loosening oil. Then apply it to the shoes to create a waterproof layer. Although the initial results were quite good. But after mass-producing several hundred pairs of rubber overshoes, new shoes for quitting smoking were ruined by the summer heat. Glued back together. The first experiment failed. The second time, he chose. Simply add quicklime to talcum powder and rubber. Boil the mixture in water, but relying on alkaline additions to maintain the stability of the rubber. Too easily neutralized by the mild acids in life. It can easily soften again if you're not careful. Since using alkali doesn't work, then try a thrombus. After testing several more materials, he discovered, although the rubber processed in Shaoshan is smooth and non-sticky, they even secured a government order for waterproof messenger bags. But before these messenger packages were delivered to the government, or is it because of the summer temperature? It stuck to the truck frame. In the end, nothing came of it. After several failures, he moved his family to Massachusetts. Here he met Nathaniel Hayward. Hayward, yeah. At that time, a type of application was made. Patent for a new type of rubber treatment. He applied sulfur to the rubber surface and then exposed it to the sun. This will allow you to obtain a smooth, dry surface. The effect is very good. One ear is broken. Buy the license for this patent immediately. But due to previous experience, he tried to avoid exposing the rubber to high temperatures. Sulfur rubber treated at room temperature. Only the surface layer is dry and smooth. The shoes inside are still made of young rubber. Later, by coincidence, He discovered that heating sulfur rubber on a furnace, it will make him harder. After repeated experiments, it was determined that under high temperature and high pressure, it will cause sulfur rubber to vulcanize. During the vulcanization process, sulfur will combine with rubber. Co-addition collagen reaction with rubber macromolecules, forming stable three-dimensional peptides. With the advent of vulcanized rubber, human consumption of rubber has increased rapidly. The rubber industry system has been initially established. He spearheaded the second industrial revolution for humankind, provides powerful driving force. The second industrial revolution. The most prominent performance points. One is the development of electricity and communications. Electricity is inseparable from one thing. That is an insulator. Rubber may be suitable for wrapping wires. However, it's unlikely that rubber is suitable for wrapping wires. Rubber, although insulating. However, it is not resistant to sunlight and corrosion. Rubber used for cable insulation. Rubber that is not from a rubber tree. Instead, it's Gouda glue. There are actually many screaming plants in the world. Gouda gum comes from a species of Orchidaceae, cassava plants, ancient pagoda, bakelite. It is a kind of tall trees living in the jungles of Southeast Asia. Gouda gum can be secreted from its bark. The main ingredient of the ancient family is anti-414. Residence 527. Rubber tree and other species are isomers. Increase the oblique opposite face. There are also many differences in physical aspects. Firstly, it is a relatively solid substance at room temperature, similar to plastic. It will soften when soaked in hot water, similar to plastic. Moreover, it can repeatedly harden and soften. It won't crack. Indigenous peoples of Southeast Asia. It can be used to make knife handles, similar to plastic. In 1843, a British military doctor named Montgomery Goodison was brought to Europe. It was used to process golf balls, etc. Japan also discovered Gouda glue is not only highly effective but also extremely high wear resistance. It contains both strong thrombus and strong alkali. Chemical corrosion has almost no effect on him. Therefore, it can be used not only to manufacture cables. It was also used in the most demanding submarine cables. To ensure a more even application of the bone tower adhesive, humans invented the coffin extruder. Bone tower glue can be heated. Apply evenly to the wires. After applying 3 layers of Gouda glue, the hemp rope with oil poured on it was wrapped around the entrance. Then 18 wires are added to the outside. This is 1858, the world's first manufacturing process of transatlantic cables. Gouda glue is sensitive to high temperatures. So, what about the submarine cables back then? Some are also coated with a layer of ordinary rubber. But overall, MVP is still Gouda's. From 1844 to 1896, a total of 60,000 tons of Gouda's rubber were produced globally. Of these, 48,000 tons were used in submarine cables alone. Others use containers with acid and alkali properties and industrial products. Although gutane does indeed have excellent properties, it is a natural material itself. It's high class enough. But what about the development of gutta percha by humans? That's too violent. Although Gouda glue, it can also be obtained by cutting open the bark. But what was the common practice at the time? They simply cut down the ancient pagoda's ebony trees. Peel whole. So much so that Montgomery. It was predicted that this approach might be extremely irresponsible. By the 2040s, the wild resources of Gautama var Sarcodactylus are almost exhausted. From the 24G 1950s onwards, polymer materials such as polyvinyl chloride made from petroleum, it became the cable insulation layer, and Gouda glue, only a small portion of the materials. It has been applied to the field of dental fillings, also known as tooth splint. This kind of material is often the most common online. As for rubber, due to the elasticity and abrasion resistance are enhanced after vulcanization. The transportation sector is his main arena. 1847, radish-colored William Thompson. Hollow tires had already been invented. However, this invention was not mass-produced industrially. In 1888, British veterinarian Dunlop. The pneumatic tire was reinvented, and it was applied to bicycles and tricycles. It can be said to have completely changed the bicycle industry. Athletes ride this thing to win championships, even those who wanted to wait for the yellow-haired cart. We also received more customers, just using rickshaws. It's still a bit of a waste of talent. Michelin Brothers. Applying pneumatic tires to the automotive industry, and improvements were made to the tires. It allows for quick replacement, although everyone's intentions. Michelin is always associated with food, but Michelin tire personnel are the true embodiment of their martial spirit. Many tire companies we are familiar with, they were all established during this period. For example, 1898, Frank, Goodyear Tire Company founded by Zeppelin. Continental Rubber Company, established in Germany in 1871. This is what we often refer to as Continental Tires. Also founded by Masashi Ishibashi. Bridgestone Tire Company, 1890. Global consumption of natural rubber is only 30,000 tons. By 1910, global consumption of natural rubber. It has already exceeded 105,000 tons. Currently, the world's top 5 tire companies, almost all of them, are this. The time period for establishing the large suede texture of natural rubber. The price of natural rubber between 1870 and 1910. It increased by almost 13 times. It reached 1,000 pounds per ton in 1910. What does this mean? According to the exchange rate at that time, 1 pound sterling was equivalent to 6 or 7 ounces of silver. The Empress Dowager paid out more than 500 million taels of silver. They could only purchase less than 70,000 tons of rubber. Such high profits naturally make many people envious. Why is it rubber? Is it monopolized by the local Brazilian taifa? Even games know that technology needs to be balanced. Why did we, the great powers, why can't we develop rubber technology independently? Zeminji is involved in rubber plantation management. The Guide to Opening Up Germany. Planting trees in Ethiopia, East Africa. Tapioca is also a type of cassava. Potato gum is also a relative of utilitarian cassava because of its latex. It sticks much better than the three-eyed rubber tree. It will also solidify too early after the air is extinguished. So, production. Its efficiency is much lower than that of three-eyed rubber. British well-known. The coiled rubber developed by Manila. He wasn't even a few big anymore, but rather he was holding on to Peach Brother. Everyone knows that. Oleander, a type of monumental plant. A milky white liquid will also flow out. If a milky white liquid flows out, it can be used to treat rubber. So they planted this kind of plant that traps Brother Tao. Stone carving plants. However, its performance is only barely adequate. The United States chose to plant trees in Haiti to trap Tao Ji. Alternaria lobata. This thing has a very strong vitality. Theoretical materials are also acceptable. But even though the physical education teacher was in good health, he was always getting sick. Actual production is limited. The rubber quality is even worse. Belgium chooses to grow rubber in dried fruit. Dried fruit? Unlike Maybach, it does not belong to all the people. Instead, it was the King of Belgium. Leo Glass IIS private property. He chose to wrap Tao Ji in a type of rice dumpling. Rolling mature species. These vines produce fruits the size of small melons. The locals will pick and use them. Leo Boss too. He called the place he owned the Congo Free State. The freedom here lies in the fact that the king is very free. Collecting the intersection of these vines. It is definitely a labor-intensive industry. So, the local residents were directly assigned as slaves. If the performance targets are not met, not enough collected, they will be punished by having their hands cut off. Hearing this, some viewers will definitely ask, wouldn't it be even harder to work if my hand was cut off? Don't worry, don't you have a wife and children? Unfinished tasks. These weaknesses are in the hands and feet. It will be delivered to you the next day. Due to the cruel rule of Leopold II, in addition to the causes of famine, internal strife, and infectious diseases, death was also a factor. During his reign, it may have caused the deaths of 10 million people. So much so, even a church in Belgium couldn't stand it anymore. They bought the Congo from Leopold II. Let the Congo Free State belong to all. The Belgian people have become a summer retreat in the Congo. As for Leo not being able to have a second generation, he did not suffer any divine retribution. On the contrary, in Belgian history, longest reigning emperor.
Certainly.
This is also related to the unique properties of the spider vine itself. These strange, screaming plants, it's just playing with tears. Only say rubber. That's the white moonlight that shotgunners can't get. Therefore, face the problem directly. Planting sieve-leaf rubber trees is the only way to relieve the pain of unrequited love. In 1876, Brazil produces 90% of the world's rubber. It has its own rainforest. Therefore, local merchants relied on monopolies. They can manipulate market prices at will. Manaus, located on the upper reaches of the Amazon River, just by relying on the rubber trade, once cautious as one of the world's richest cities, the Brazilian government, in order to guarantee these huge profits.
Complete ban.
The immediate priority is to leave the country, as long as customs discovers someone attempting to take one. So, who is waiting for this person? It's just a bowl of hot seaweed and egg drop soup. Of course, it doesn't have cauliflower. But as the saying goes, a great reward will surely bring lasting happiness. Even with such stringent legislation, people trying to smuggle rubber tree seeds, still going forward one after another. Finally, in 1876, British explorer Henry Wickman risked his life. 70,000 seeds were collected from the rainforest of colors, smuggled out of the country, and planted it in the autumn garden of the Royal Botanic Gardens, Kew. Although in the UK, these seeds are not growing very well. But for what was then called Great Britain, the British Empire, what we have no shortage of is various overseas territories. They distributed these 6 to the British Congo,
Nike, Sri Lanka,
Malaysia, Singapore, and other places. Not long after, these rubber trees are rooted all over the world.
In
rubber trees growing on Malaysian soil, due to suitable growing conditions, no natural enemies. It looks almost better than in its place of origin. Moreover, it is free from the leaf blight disease native to South America. They also invented continuous rubber tapping method involving repeated incisions on old wounds. This allows rubber trees to produce latex continuously for decades. Production increased significantly. In addition, Southeast Asia, at that time, China has an inexhaustible demographic dividend. A more efficient and concentrated Southeast Asian linear industry. It directly ended South America. The era of the paratroopers' monopoly on swimming let the price of lines. In just 4 years, it fell back to 200 pounds per ton. Leopold II was able to spit out the dried fruit.
wild vine.
Resource depletion. The unstoppable rise of Southeast Asian rubber. Inseparable relationship. Although the price of natural rubber, it fell to 80 pounds tons in 1922. But global rubber production, 75 are in British hands. Since it can't be sold for a good price, then it'll reduce production capacity. Export restrictions. Artificially inflating prices. How much I want to cut off depends on my mood. For countries around the world at that time, firmly control rubber resources. That is the way to survive. What lies before our motherland? There are 3 paths to choose from. Continue searching for other rubber-producing plants. Using violence to reclaim the rubber-producing areas. Artificial chemicals, synthetic rubber. Which path is the right one?
See you next time.